Hey everyone, I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm really grateful that you're listening, subscribing, and commenting. I really appreciate all your support. And in this one, I want to speak to you about a little bit of a hack that a friend of mine shared with me. She has ADHD as well. And it seems everyone has it. No, I'm just kidding. I think we flock together. So people with ADHD or people who have INFJ personality type, I think we kind of flock together. So that's why we end up finding so many of us. And then we're like, is everyone like us? And then we realize when we go out in the real world and we hang out with other people that no, not everyone's like us. So I've been friends with her for a long time. Never met in person, but I've been friends online with her for a long time. And she is big into the ADHD community. She does a lot of different things for them. Like she has coaching and apps that she's building. So she knows, she's been studying herself and ADHD personality types for a long time because she wants to understand herself. She wants to hack herself. Basically, she wants to make sure that she's living an optimal life despite the fact that she has ADHD, because sometimes ADHD can, the tricks, you have to trick yourself in order to getting stuff done. Because otherwise you're not going to do it, and then you're going to sit there even though you have a lot of potential not getting anything done. And one of the things she was having a really hard time with, which I have a really hard time with as well, which is why we started talking about it, is dating. I find that it is on the bottom of my list. I do everything else. I'll be really good at taking care of all my other business, be it family, be it relationships with friends, be it travel, be it living my dreams, be it finances, be it taking care of my health, all the other things. I'm very good. I'll put my lists on, I will put it in my to-do list, I'll be doing things every day, I'll check them off, I'll feel really good about it. And then when it comes to dating, also because it's not a priority for me, but also I never end up doing it. I'll think about it, I'm like, maybe I should do it. And then a month passes by and I haven't done a single thing for it. And then 3 months passed by and I'm like, oh shoot, I talked to someone about it and I was saying I'm going to do it, but I never did it. And then years passed by and it's been years since I dated someone. I'm like, oopsie. And so I feel like this might be the pattern for me for the rest of my life. And I'll be like on my deathbed and I'll be like, oh, right, that was the one thing I was thinking about I had to do and I didn't. And she was saying that, one of the things that ADHD people really like doing is they like to experiment with things. And it's because we have this all or nothing mentality. We are stuck in fear mode because we're like, either I do it really perfectly or I don't do it at all. I'm actually packing right now to go travel again and to move countries. And I was in analysis paralysis for like 3 days before I actually started packing, because I'm like, well, weeks before I started packing, but particularly the 3 days before I started packing, because I'm like, oh my god, what should I do? How should I do it? Should I do it like this? Should I put it in here? I could not stop thinking about it. I'm constantly in my head, like planning. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to move it here. I'm going to move that there. I'm going to put that. It was exhausting. And then when I actually did it, because of all my planning, it turned out pretty well, but it was also really tiring because I was just constantly in my head because I wanted to do it perfectly. And I was like, I'm not going to pack until I do it perfectly. You're not going to do it perfectly. It's not going to happen. It's just the way it is. I did a pretty good job though this time around. I'm very proud of myself. But also, again, it's not perfect, right? Again, we have this mentality in our head. We're like, well, it has to be perfect, or I'm not going to do it at all or nothing. And the way a lot of ADHD people have, and INFJs actually, have kind of gotten over this all or nothing mentality is that they experiment. They're like, well, okay, I am just trying it out. I'm not doing it fully. I'm just dipping my toes in it. I'm just going to experiment with it. I'm not going to do it fully. I'm just trying it out. And we kind of, say that to ourselves over and over again to make ourselves feel a little bit less worried about our perfectionist streak. Because otherwise, if we are going all in, we have to go all in. We have to do it perfectly. But we're not going to do it perfectly. And so we stop and we're like, well, I'm not going to do it perfectly, so maybe I shouldn't do it at all. No, do it. Do it imperfectly. Do it not perfectly, but still do it, right? Otherwise, I would never pack. I would never get to do travel. I never get to do all the different things I do because I'd always be waiting to do things perfectly. But now I'm like, well, okay, let's see. I'll pack it the way it is. And then, when I get there, I can kind of move things around. It's okay, nothing to worry about. Also, this is not such a huge deal if you don't pack perfectly. You can buy things nowadays. Like, if you miss packing something, when you're in a different country, mostly you can get it. And if you can't get it, then hopefully you can get it shipped to you, something like you have to figure out a way of doing it. But that's not such a life or death situation. Well, really nothing is if you really think about it. But we make it a life or death situation. We're like, oh my God, if I don't do this perfectly, then everyone's going to hate me and I'm not going to be able to live my dreams, and then some disaster is going to happen and I'm going to die or something. We kind of go into that disaster mode. So again, try and step back a little bit. Play with yourself. Play a game with your mind. Play in a way that it is fun and easy for you and exciting and happy, rather than putting a lot of pressure on yourself. We are very good at putting pressure on ourselves, right? And so you got to step back and you got to say, okay, I am going to do the best I can, or I'm just going to have fun with this. It's not going to be perfect. I'm going to do the best I can, and I'm just going to have fun with it. If it doesn't work out, that's okay. It was just an experiment. And she said, my friend said that she's trying that with dating, because again, with dating, we are like, okay, either I find a man or a woman or a partner of my dreams, or I don't date at all. We have that all or nothing mentality with that as well. And so what she's doing is she's saying, okay, I'm just experimenting. I'm just trying it out. I am going to go on a date just for fun. I'm making friends. I am just trying it out. And so she's constantly telling herself this to get over that idea that, hey, if you don't do it perfectly, it's going to be a huge disaster, because you're not going to find that man or woman or person that you want to be with until you die. And then, you're going to miss out. And so we obviously go into that, worst case scenario in our head. And so again, she's kind of retracting her mind from going there. She's distracting her mind from going there, actually, by saying that it's just an experiment. It is just a trial. It is just something to have fun with. It's just something to do. It is fun. It is easy. It's not supposed to be a big drama. It's not supposed to be the end of the world. It is not something that is going to be either perfect or nothing at all. And so she's doing that and she's trying it out. And I thought that was a really good idea. Now, again, I have to try it. I haven't tried it yet, but I thought it was a good idea to try in different areas of your life. Even if dating is not one of your things, you might be really good at dating, but you might be really terrible at fitness or health or finances, whatever your thing is, because you're afraid of making a mistake. And you're like, well, I don't want to even try starting to invest in money into stocks or whatever it might be, because I'm so afraid of making a mistake. It's like it chokes you, right? It suffocates you. It makes you, it paralyzes you, this fear of being imperfect. And you have to hack it. You have to short circuit it. Your brain is going to go in that pattern of, oh my God, everything's going to go wrong, and you have to stop it. You have to say, yay, no, that's not going to happen. We've tried it before. We've tried different things before. And, we usually end up learning really well about things, and we do our research well, and we're good at figuring things out. So don't worry. We'll figure this out as well. It might take a little bit of time. There's no urgency. We'll do it slowly but steadily. And so in general, as a person who wants to get stuff done, who procrastinates or has perfectionist tendencies, you have to short circuit that pattern, and you have to do whatever you can to make sure that you get stuff done. And for me, I do this all the time. As I've said, I'm constantly talking to myself, constantly trying to make sure that I understand that this is not the end of the world if I don't get stuff done. It's not the end of the world if I am terrible at something. It's not the end of the world if I'm imperfect or even really, really bad at something. I've tried so many things in my life, and sometimes I've been really good. Sometimes I've been okay. Sometimes I've been terrible that I can't imagine how I could get better at it. But if I liked it, I kept on going with it, and I did get better at it. When I was younger, one of my things was I loved to dance in my head. But when I actually physically did it, I was very awkward because I was so shy and self-conscious. But I kept on going for it because I love to dance. I love to move my body. And eventually, people were surprised at how good of a dancer I was. I'm just talking about normal, just like casual dancing. I'm not talking about following some rhythms or steps or like a choreography, but just moving my body. And now I can move my body anywhere, any place without any fear, because I've done it for so long, and I'm not self-conscious about it. Not even because I don't care if I don't look good. It's because I love to dance, right? And same thing with other things that I was terrible at, but bit by bit I short-circuited my patterns of negativity and perfectionism and all or nothing thinking, and I moved forward beyond that, and I started keeping on going, and eventually I got there, right? And in some things I did not get there, right? Like dating, I guess I could say. Like, I've tried it many times in the past, but I haven't been able to get past the idea of, ugh, it's such a pain in the ass. I mean, it's such a pain, and I find it like to be such a low priority that I don't ever get to it. But I guess if I could look at it as an experiment, as a way of meeting new people, it doesn't have to be all about dating. It doesn't have to be that I'm going to meet the man or person of my dreams. It could just be that I'm meeting new people, right? And so but put less pressure on yourself, reduce the pressure, and that's how you're going to move forward. That's the only way to move forward. So I hope this makes sense. I just wanted to share some tactics, some techniques I use in general to move through my life. I hope it's helpful to you. And if you have any techniques you use in order to get past your inadequacies or your quirks as a ADHD or an INFJ personality, I would love to hear that as well. I'm always looking to learn new techniques. Again, thank you so much for listening, for being on my channel. I really appreciate you, and I shall see you the next time around. Bye for now.